Hello, my name is Jim Bellacera, and I want to welcome you to Within the Millionaire Mind. This lesson is going to be about getting noticed the right way online. And I hope you take this really serious because I'm going to share some thoughts and some ideas and some things that may even offend some people because they're not really paying attention to how much they're really missing out by not being online or not representing themselves correctly on the internet. You know, we live in a world where there are so many people competing for the same customers. You've got to be willing to stand out in a sea of competition. And if you don't, we're talking about missed opportunity. I know that if you don't know what you don't know, then you don't really care, right? Well, there's plenty of business that people have lost simply because they can't be found. You know, some people think that as long as they have a presence online, whether it's with Google Plus or LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or Successful Thinkers, that's all they need. And then, of course, you know, some people think all they need is a website and just, you know, pay somebody to search engine optimization their website so they can rank themselves to the top of the internet. Then you have those who think a website really isn't even necessary because of some self-proclaimed social media expert that said you don't need it. And I've actually been told that by somebody who's, you know, an expert at social media. It's like, are you kidding me? Well, look, I understand why somebody would say something like that because they want to sell their service over, over just somebody who does, you know, websites for a living. But let me share something with you. When we're done with this lesson, you're going to realize that there's no one answer. There's no right answer. So if somebody says something to you like that, you don't need a website. You need to think twice about whether you should listen to what they have to say. It's a mess out there. It really is. Then you have those who think you don't need any of this, you know, meeting people, you know, pounding the pavement or making phone calls or, you know, networking. And I want to share something with you. The answer is all the above. The reality is you need to fill your hopper with leads. You need to be able to brand yourself online and brand yourself offline. It's really important that you do it everywhere you can because your competition is. They understand it's a fight out there. They've rolled up their sleeves and they're trying to do everything they can do to win the fight. If you have someone, and I already said this, if you have someone who says you don't need one thing or the other, please reconsider whether you should listen to them and take advice from them. I'm going to share this information with you. This is really valuable facts. If you're involved, if you're in direct sales, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is just one aspect of the small home-based businesses, okay? Now, in America, this is United States facts. There's nearly 17 million people in the direct selling industry. And this is the United States. In the United States, there's actually a total of about 29 million small business owners, okay? So these folks make up a large majority of the small business owners. But what the point I want to make and help you understand that there is no one answer. There's no one solution as to where you need to brand yourself or focus your energy and time and money. So if you look at this chart, it shows you in 2008, 66% of all the sales, all the $33 billion that was done in 2008. I'm sorry, I don't know the number for 2008, but whatever the number was for 2008, 66% of it was done through person to person. What that means, that's like, you know, phone call to phone call. I'm talking to somebody over the telephone that's sitting in a coffee shop, having a cup of coffee with somebody that's sitting at somebody's kitchen table, explaining, you know, my insurance thing or my business deal or whatever. And then if you look at 2013, it says 70% of all sales of that $33 billion in 2013 was done person to person, face to face. Okay. That could also mean video conferencing, you know, because it gives you the ability to talk to somebody one-on-one. The next bracket, which is the green bracket, it shows in 2008, 26% of that 33 of whatever that number was for them in 2008 was done through parties and group meetings. In 2013, out of the nearly $33 billion, 23% of it was done through group meetings and parties. Now, this is important, okay? So now I'm going to go to the last section. It shows you in 2008 that 8% of all the money that was all the sales that was done in 2008, 8% of it was done through search engine optimization with websites, social media, pay-per-click, trade shows, door-to-door, and whatever else I didn't mention. If you fast forward over to 2013, all those, search engine optimization with websites and social media, pay-per-click, trade shows, door-to-door, and so forth, all of those represent that 7%. So the smallest percentage represents a much larger number of different ways people can make a transaction. So the biggest way is person to person. The second biggest way is through group meetings and parties. So the reason I share this with you is so that you have a better understanding of how business is being done. And so if somebody tells you all you need to focus on is social media or just Facebook or just LinkedIn or just whatever, don't pay attention to them. They don't even have a clue what they're talking about. That's how uneducated they are. They might know how to use a site and they might be able to get you on there. But if you take their advice and they're not telling you that, by the way, this is just one methodology, you're listening to the wrong person. I take this very serious. And so as not to confuse you, let me explain why it's critical for you to put yourself out there. As I've mentioned, you're competing against other professionals that already know how important it is to be found online. You see this young lady, she's on Google. She's Googling somebody, right? The point is, when you have an educated, or what I like to call savvy client, somebody who understands how to use the search engines and research to find you, and whatever their preferred methodology is, if they can't find you because you're not out there, you're not on Facebook, or you don't have a website, or you're not on LinkedIn, you're not on some of the larger sites, the Successful Thinkers Network, then they may very well not want to do business with you. You see, you got to understand that the savvy client knows there's a lot of scams out there, and they don't want to be the next victim. They don't know you personally, so they have to make a judgment decision whether they should trust you and whether they should buy your product or service or join your team. So just remember that if they can't find you, or what they find about you is concerning, this is not good. This is not good at all. What if you don't have any representation on the top social media sites when people search you, and you don't have a personalized website to introduce yourself to your potential customers? Well, I'm going to just say it. You are absolutely guaranteed to lose the fight. The person that does look online to do their homework about you, if they can't find you, they just knocked you out of the ballpark. They're no longer interested in risking their money with you. You lost. Now, you may think, oh no, not me. You see, the problem is you don't know what you don't know. And so as long as you don't know the facts, you don't know who researched you, and so you don't even know why you lost the sale. This was last week that somebody actually called me, and she said point blank, she said, Jim, I wouldn't have even called you had I not done my homework on you. She goes, I went all over the internet looking you up. And we had a long conversation. It was awesome, by the way. But, I have to tell you, this is a major deal for me, this phone call that she made. And had she decided after after researching me and not finding me and decided, well, I don't want to do business with you, I have no idea how much I would have lost. This could potentially be, for me, a lot of money. Now I'm going to go backwards in time several years before I got online. I was having a conversation with a gal who lived on the East Coast. At the time, I was living in California. I now live in Florida. And she and I were having this great conversation. And I definitely was the right man for the job. There's no question about it. But I wasn't on the internet. And she was telling me constantly how she was working with this guy, and it looks like she might want to make a decision to go with him because he's online and what he can do for me online and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, I lost the deal. Okay. But I'm the guy that made millions of dollars, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that, in the direct selling industry, and she didn't know that. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know me from Adam. My name didn't mean anything to her. So I'm talking to basically a cold contact who couldn't even look me up because I wasn't anywhere to be found online. Now that wasn't really good because she was a major player. She, we remained friends, and that's the good thing. The bad thing is that she didn't go. She ended up not staying with the guy that did bring her in because he didn't do nothing for her. All he was somebody who was on the internet, and he sold her a bill of goods, and she realized that later. But the bottom line is, man, you need to take what I'm sharing with you very, very serious. Maybe you're one of those people that constantly says, I don't have time. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know where to begin with the process. Then what you're really saying is, you're so wonderful, people will just know by osmosis to call you to do business. Really? Do people really think that? No, they don't. What you're really saying is you're going to miss out on opportunity. I thought this quote was really apropos. It says, opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you'll miss them. And I just wonder how many things that people have missed because they didn't take the time to do what they needed to do. They let weeks and months and years go by before they took it serious. And this is something that you need to take serious. I guess those who think it's not important to have a presence online haven't been in business very long, and they don't realize how much money's just fallen off the cliff. Or no one's told them, like I'm trying to tell you right now, they're losing business to their competition. You got a choice. You could be the question mark. Who are you? What are you? I mean, people don't know you. Or you can put yourself out there. A brand is, we're not talking about a brand like a product. We're talking about a brand being you as an individual. People don't buy your company. They buy you, and then they get your company because they get it through you. Does that make sense? Of course, you could say, well, hello, I'm new, just a rookie mistake. Well, that's your excuse. But let me share something with you. With over 300 million people on Google+, over 300 million on LinkedIn, over 1.35 billion people on Facebook, check this out. In the United States alone, there's over 318 million people that just live here in the United States. In China, there's over 1.35 billion. And in India, there's over 1.27 billion people that live there. Now, when you look at Google Plus and LinkedIn individually, there's about as many people in the United States that live in Google, that are on Google. And so I need to make a point here. If somebody actually doesn't think that they should be taking what I'm sharing with you serious, wow. I mean, there's over 300 million people on LinkedIn. That's a country. There's a whole country of people that are literally on Google Plus or on LinkedIn. And with Facebook, we're talking the largest country in the world is China in terms of population. With that many people, for someone to actually ignore not really branding themselves, putting themselves on the internet for other people to do research and find them and find positive information, that is, to me, knowing what I know, that's the definition of insanity. If you don't know, then you don't know what you missed, right? So now you know because I told you. I showed you. I proved it to you. It's a fact. So are you branded online? What are they saying about you online? Do you have a trusted brand online? Or are you somebody that people don't like? And this is really important. So if you have a bad reputation, you need to talk to somebody about reputation management, but you also need to get yourself out there in a positive light. You've got to have, if you don't have your own personal website, that's the first problem. Seriously. And I know there's most of those billion people on Facebook don't have a website because they don't think it's necessary because they got a free social media site. Well, that's good and it's bad. So I'm just telling you, I've been to, on LinkedIn, I have well over 11,000 connections. And interesting enough, there's a lot of those people on LinkedIn, they're dressed professionally, nice picture. They did a great job in their bio, and they have no website, none, zero. And it makes me question whether or not they really are a professional or somebody I should trust because they don't have a website. Then you have people that actually had a website and they let it go. They didn't want to pay the $8 a month. I mean, the URL costs about $8 a year and maybe more, maybe $12 a year. And to host it, it might cost you upwards to $8 a month to have it hosted somewhere once you have the website made. So are you kidding me? I mean, we're in business. We've got to be able to be found. Don't assume your preferred method, by the way, of contact is the preferred method of your potential client. You see, there's a guy with a cell phone, there's another person just doing text, another person doing Twitter, someone else doing their email, someone else doing Facebook messaging, and someone else with voicemail. Now, it's critically important that you check whatever methods you have access to. You know, are you checking your text messages? I just talked to my father just a little while ago. My father could take upwards to a full day or longer to respond to a text message. But if I call him and leave a voicemail message, he'll call me back within minutes to maybe an hour or two, okay? Because my dad's preferred method happens to be, direct phone call or voicemail. Now, on another note, I've got people that they never check their Facebook messages. And I even had people tell me, well, I left you a message. And I'm going, where? I mean, I'm serious. I'm where? I didn't see. I'm looking at my email thinking to myself, oh my gosh, it must have went to my spam box, but I checked my spam box before I delete them all. And then finally they come back with, well, I left it on Facebook. Of course. Like, doesn't everybody check their Facebook? No. But if you think that, are you kidding me? Look, some people live on LinkedIn, some people live on Facebook, some people live on Twitter, some people don't use any social media sites for their methodology for relaying back and forth messages. Some people never check their voicemail, ever. So in saying all that I'm saying, you need to make sure when you leave a message with your potential client to leave it in two places. Don't assume one is going to be enough. Certainly, if you want to leave it on text, great. If you want to leave a voicemail message, great. If you want to leave a Facebook message, you better leave an email message or a text message or a voicemail message. But don't just assume one methodology is going to be your solution. Because I promise you this, some people will never get your message. And then you think they don't like you, or you think they don't want to do business with you. And you don't even bother to follow up because you think they didn't get back to you. The truth is, they didn't even know to check. They didn't even know to check it. So I hope I'm making sense to you, because this is really critical information. So for business, these are the huge sites that everybody needs to be aware of. The top 3 business sites. You've got LinkedIn, of course. You've got Google Plus, of course, and you have Successful Thinkers Network, of course. We all have our favorites. And some people will change from site to site. Some people who were on Facebook are now on Pinterest, or now they're on Instagram. They're more of social sites. But when it comes to business, these are your primary business sites. Even worse, what if they do find you and there's no picture, so there's no way to know for sure if that's you, because you have a name that might be spelled the same as somebody else's. There's no information about you. There's no contact information. I mean, it could be pretty bad. So how are they supposed to know it's you? And then if there's no contact information, which makes it even worse, how are they going to be able to get back to you and actually connect with you? You need to be proactive. We live in a world today that we have to be proactive. You got to look at these 2 images here. You've got Paul Waring and you have Paula Stateman. Now, I have to ask you a question. Who would you do business with? I mean, just looking at that. I mean, Paula's professionally dressed. She's got a great picture. Paul, I don't know who he is. Now, he could be the nicest guy in the world, seriously. And he could probably even do great business for you. But, he didn't think it was worth his time to upload his picture and fill out his bio and give you any kind of contact information. Paula, on the other hand, she took the time, uploaded her picture. She uploaded her bio, and she has her contact information. Gee, let's see. There's no way to do business with Paul. Nice guy, I think. We don't know, but could be. Paula, she's professional. At least she appears that way. She's got my vote. I'd rather, connect with her. So I'm just trying to make a point. So here's some very important steps I want you to follow. Make sure you have a decent picture of yourself. Put some pictures of your family and friends, some hobbies, but don't overwhelm everybody with all business. I mean, when you're on a business site, you have to have business information, but let them know you're human. Make sure that what you write on your website, your social media sites, and so forth, is well thought out, and that what you write makes someone want to do business with you. Okay, they want to feel like they know you, they like you, they trust you. And make it easy for them to contact you through email, cell phone, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, Successful Thinkers Network. This is important, what I'm sharing with you. If you don't make them feel comfortable and have the kind of the warm fuzzies, maybe they're not going to want to do anything with you anyways. Because remember, people like to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. They can get to know you through your social media site, through your website, through your pictures and what you write about yourself. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Make sure if someone sends you a message, respond back immediately. Have your friends write references as to your accountability and your integrity. This is extremely important. If you go to my personal website, you'll see that I have over 50 people that actually wrote a reference about me. Why? Because I am a man of integrity. I am somebody you can count on. My handshake is my bond. And I want people to know that, because if I'm competing, and I know I'm competing against other people, I want to win. But I want people to know. If they don't know, to ask the question or get that information, then it's best man wins, right? Best man or woman. When you get a loan, the loan companies always ask for references. So you need to be the one that's being proactive and ask your friends to give you a written reference, assuming, of course, you're worthy of it, right? And these fake likes, like you can go to Facebook and like somebody's page, like, really? I mean, it's okay if it's somebody that you know, but if you're just liking them to like them because you want them to like you back, because the more likes you get, the more impressive you are, right? Same thing on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can endorse somebody. All you just push a button, just literally push a button. Oh, this guy says he's an expert in social media. He says he's an expert in online sales. Boom, 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 boom. You just click buttons because you want people to endorse you, right? If I endorse you, would you endorse me? Well, really? I have people actually send me emails and ask me to write an endorsement. I'm going, oh my goodness. Wow. That's crazy. I'm not going to write an endorsement to somebody I don't even know. But you know what? If you send out enough emails to enough people on LinkedIn, somebody's going to write you an endorsement because they want you to write one back for them. That's pathetic. That's sick. And that also tells me that that person does not, and I'm going to say it again, does not have enough people in their personal life that trust them enough to write them an endorsement. Oh, that's crazy. But, it is what it is. If you want people to know who you are and you want to be noticed, then you can't ignore the obvious. I mean, for example, be sure to appear professional, have pictures that represent the kind of person you would like to follow. So you want to look like someone that's clean and professional. And with today's technology, it is so easy. I mean, literally, get your cell phone. You can take a selfie. It's really amazing when somebody says, well, I want to put a nice picture on my profile, but, I need to get a professional one done. Seriously? Oh, come on. I mean, yeah, get it done, but, don't put your whole life on hold, and certainly don't make it to where your social media site and your personal website and so forth has to wait on the fact that you don't have the perfect picture. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, we go out to dinner, we go out to friends' houses, and we get made up and dressed up, right? So why can't somebody take a picture with their cell phone with maybe against a tree or a nice pretty wall well, I don't know anybody to take my picture. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Seriously? Today's world, people take selfies in front of people they don't even think twice. But you're an entrepreneur. You need to be willing to not only take your selfie in front of people, but you can ask somebody. If you don't have the courage to ask somebody to take a picture of yourself, which is, by the way, it's totally natural, then you shouldn't be in business. Oh my goodness, because you got to ask for the clothes, right? If you can't ask for the clothes, you can't make any money. And the easiest thing in the world is to say, could you take my picture, please? I'm not really making fun of this. This is very serious. Because one of the biggest things I've heard over the years for an excuse is why somebody can't put a nice picture on their social media site or whatever is because they haven't got their professional picture done yet. Oh my gosh. Get it done, but don't put your life on hold until you get it done. Because if it takes you months or even a year, and you could have done a selfie and literally within the same 30 seconds uploaded to your social media sites and so forth, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because, by the way, these new phones today, they take awesome pictures. Okay. Once you've taken your photo, immediately upload it to your social media sites. Make sure that you fill out your bio. Every one of these social media sites make it really, really, really easy to upload your profile picture. Also, too, every site even tells you how far along you are with completing your profile. And what you're looking at here, where the red arrow just went to, it shows that 35% of this person's profile has been completed on LinkedIn. It's 30%. That's terrible. That's disgusting. That's somebody who's like not even like taking their life serious at all. I mean, that's a joke. Like, really? Why are you spending any time on LinkedIn? Because no one's going to even know who you are. It's like, I can't believe it. But the same thing holds true for Facebook. Go to your friends and look at their about section and how little information they have there. And it's like, oh, it's such a bother to write, information about my bio. Man, what that says to me is you're not taking yourself serious. Maybe I think you're more worthy than you think you're worthy. Don't be offended by what I'm saying, unless you're just not going to do it because you have every excuse under the sun. And excuses don't work in business. You can't be self-employed and not make things happen. You have to make things happen. It's your choice. I would have never done the things I've done in my life had I not put one foot in front of the other and just did it. And when I did things wrong, I got critiqued and criticized. But you know what? It taught me a lesson. I made sure I got it right, and I moved on. You can't live in concern and worry about what somebody's going to say. You should take that criticism or that information and use it to make you better, if that makes any sense. So fill out the bio information. At the same time, you upload your photo. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing this on your own, find a friend that'll help you. Go to other profiles that have similar backgrounds as you and learn from what they wrote about themselves. I'm going to be honest right here, right now. The bio that I have came as a result of me reading other people's bios and then personalizing it to my life. I personalized it because I have my own story, right? But I went around and I was reading a bunch of different bios and trying to get an idea on what I should do to write about myself. And if you don't want to do that, then hire someone. If you don't think you're worth hiring somebody, then I have to ask you again, are you really an entrepreneur? Are you just like taking up space or something as an entrepreneur? You got to take yourself serious. Have fun, of course, but you've got to take yourself serious about being a professional, being an entrepreneur, making sure that you're branded, make sure that what you do is professional enough that people want to do business with you, that they can know, like, and trust you, because you're competing against a lot of people in the same field. It's never been easier for somebody to get involved in business today as it is right now today. This is a fact. So somebody has an idea and they want to do it, they're going to do it. So don't be a ghost. And I've got to make a big, because we're on the home stretch here to finish up. I've got to make a point. Please, 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 please. If you are a spammer, you're somebody that all you do is sit there at home and spam other people's Facebook walls and stuff like that. Let me share something with you. You don't get it. You just don't get it. Do you really think that people want to see your name over and over and over and over and over and over again? And do you think that they're really going to read something about the same business over and over again? Come on, let's wake up. I showed you facts earlier in this presentation that in the United States in 2013, from the DSA, 70% of all sales was done one-to-one. One-to-one. The 23% was done in group meetings. Isn't that interesting? The 7% that was left over, that was done through a combination of door-to-door, social media, SEO, trade shows, and so on and so forth. So the smallest percentage of business was done through all these other methodologies. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to really take yourself to another level, you've got to be willing to put your hand out. You've got to be willing to pick up the telephone. You've got to be willing to make conversation. Make conversation. Very few people ever make a lot of money just putting themselves out there. And what you don't know, and I'm going to put it out there right now, what you don't know about the people that claim they make all this money through social media or through search engine optimization and so forth, they're not telling you how many tens of thousands of dollars, if they show you a real check, how much money they spend in lead generation. They don't tell you that because they're selling you something, obviously, and they don't want you to know how hard it is and how much money you'll have to spend because they're trying to get money from you. They're not going to tell you. And, people are so easily fooled because they don't know. this, oh my gosh, this guy made all this money in just 2 months, and boy, if I just get online, and maybe you'll get lucky and make $1. But they're not going to tell you how much money they spend in lead generation in order for them to show you the kind of money, if they're not fake checks. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of people out there that will show you a fake check. So after going through this lesson, what have you left? What have you left to do that's still undone on your social media sites, your profiles, and so forth? I want you to answer this question. Have you taken the time to set up a personal website for yourself? Yes or no? Have you gone back to make sure that your information is updated on your social media sites, your websites, and so forth? I have been to websites, I have been to social media sites that I know the people, and I'm looking and reading their information, and I know that they've gone into 2 other businesses since they posted their last business on their site. That's terrible. That's terrible. Terrible. I mean, but I know them, and it just tells me that they're not willing to go back and just update it. It takes seconds. But, oh, I'm too busy. I can't be bothered right now. Please, your image is everything. So make sure you go back to your social media sites and clean them up. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. And just know that, I say this with love in my heart because I really want you to succeed. I'm not a teacher because I want to bash people. I'm a teacher because I love people, because I want people to do better. But I know, I've learned this through life, that you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that you want to make it right with your potential clients and contacts, so that you can stand out in a crowd and you're the one that's branded over your competition. Thank you so much. God bless you.